So we have understood and we have discussed the different values of teaching literature in the um, to our students. Now we will try to unveil here how do we do and how do we teach literature in the context of the ones that we have here in the Philippines. How do we teach literature in the classroom? Well, basically, one of the professors from De La Salle University, Professor Shirley Liwa, she mentioned that in order for us to survive, we have several tips in teaching literature. We have number one, teach a few good poems, but we have to teach them very well. We do not cover everything, but instead we focus. We have a very good focus, and again, we have should have a focus. Also, we should train students to be critical thinkers and readers. Now, what we have actually in mind here, if we talk about and if we made mention that we should teach few good poems, but teach them very well, it only means that our idea of teaching literature is not actually confined in just a poem, but it can also be in stories. One of the ideas would be that if we teach poem or story, we have to make sure that we select the best. It's actually in one of the values of teaching literature. We should actually teach few good poems, teach few good poetry, but we should make sure that we are actually teaching the the few ones, but we have to make sure that we are actually teaching them very well. And now, how do we teach them very well? Remember that we have benefits. Remember that we have values. That hopefully lahat ng mga values na yon, lahat ng mga benefits na yon, kapag nagturo tayo ng literature, kaya natin silang palabasin. We can bring them to we can bring them out to our learners that our learners will be able to engage their personality to the literature, that our learners will be able to love the joy and find the joy in reading, that our learners will be able to understand the importance of that literature in the context, among others. No, that's the idea of teaching only a few good poems. Because when we teach now in the context of our classroom, we don't have the luxury of time. And I believe if we as English teachers, if we are to teach literature, we understand that it's actually not easy. It's actually not it's actually not easy to teach literature at some point because we we have we have to cover so much. I mean, stories are long, analyses are long, and simple introduction of the context of literature itself is long. So it would take so much time. That with that being said, we have to make sure that when we teach literature, we have to teach only the good poems. We have to teach the good poems, or we have to teach the story. Kahit konting story lang, as long as we can teach them very well. The second point of do not cover everything or anything, but instead we should have a focus. This only means or looking into the idea that kapag nagturo ka ng literature, ano ba yung goal mo? What is the ultimate goal? What is the very goal or very objective? Why are you teaching, or why will you be teaching literature in the first place? Are you going to teach literature kasi magtuturo ka ng mabuting asal o magandang asal? Are you going to teach literature because you will be teaching you will be teaching history or knowledge or context of a particular environment kung saan ang galing yung literature? Nagmula ba siya sa Japan? Nagmula ba siya sa Greek? From Greek literature? Is it from Indian literature? So you have to determine first what is the very goal of why in the first place you're going to teach that literature. So that is the point of do not cover everything. Instead, you go back to the objective of why in the first place you're trying to teach literature. Okay? So you go to the either curriculum guide or to the most essential learning competency. Ano ba yung in-expect ng literature or ng English class from your discussion? Is it for you to learn, or is it for the student to appreciate literature, to love literature, to identify the different stories, or to identify the different characters in the story? So you have to determine that. You have first to identify what your objectives are bago ka magturo ng literature. Kasi kapag hindi mo ginawa yon, sabog. Okay? Your teaching will not be aligned. The third would be we train students to be critical thinkers and readers. Now, the idea here is hindi ang tawag to literature because it's part of their curriculum. We should not just teach literature because it's part of their of it's part of our job. It's part of their day-to-day life students as students in English. But we should teach literature because we wanted to develop, we wanted to train our students to think critically. And the idea of teaching literature actually is we wanted to have transformation. Based on our previous discussion, nag-discuss kita kagina or in the previous video, I discussed on the values, and one of the values, the latter part of the values includes the moral and the social issues. Discussion on the moral and the social issues. In the social issues, we made mention that when we discuss the social issue, we have to make sure that the learners would see na anong mga social factors na nag-contribute sa certain behavior sa mga characters. Nga asa ina ka story. So for example, in the story of Footnote to Youth, nga ang bata nga si Badong o si Dodong at an early age, nagpakasal na. Ilan taon mo ang social context or social issue because they're actually poor. So they often have not been educated. They have not been literate enough. They were not actually sent to school. And so since they don't have that kind of literacy, they do not understand the consequences of their action. So having that kind of idea, the consequences of the action, takes a look into us how each of these factors play a pivotal role into the decision making of the characters. Now, kung makita nimo in the social issue, ma-realize ang bata nga ay kung wala ka galit kay eskwela or if you are less educated, at some point ang imo mga decision making in life are somehow not confined with proper rationalization. And if you do not rationalize, at some point when you create decisions, your future is affected. So kung nang tawon mo, mabalik ka sa story, na Footnote to Youth, bata ni Dodong, nagparehas man sa iya at an early age ng asawa man. So it actually repeated. It creates it creates a ripple effect to you as the father kay isang bata si Dodong ng asawa na siya, ang iya bata at the same time as well did the same ng asawa man samtang bata pa siya because he understood that his father did the same. So it creates a ripple effect in that idea to the mind of the young child of Dodong. So kung lang tawon mo, we should train our students to become critical thinkers and readers. That when the literature is trying to teach them something, kinanglan mapagwa tagid ya kag matudlo tagid sa ila that this is the moral of the story. This is the concept of the story. Now, if the concept of the story is about this, what can you do and what will you do on your end? Ano imo ubrahon niya as a student? Ano imo buhaton as a student? So that's the idea of training the students to become critical thinkers and critical readers. Not that only nga mahala ka lang na basa literature. Not that only nga mahala lang na sila recite, ma-role playing among others. But ultimately, tandaan natin, when we become literature teachers, we always wanted to transform something sa aton mga learners, not just as a group, but as an individual person. Okay? Because that is the goal of why we teach literature in the first place. Now, other suggestions includes when we do that, we can have language, meaning we pay attention to language. Ano ang mga words na ginagamit dira? Ano ang mga terminologies? Imagery, allusion, intertextuality, syntax, and form. So imagery, we have discussed that, or you have discussed that in your critical thinking. Anong mga meaning? So, for example, in the story, may ara dira Carabao. Carabao symbolizes hard work. Carabao symbolizes perseverance. Pero biskan ano nga pag-persevere sang Carabao, biskan ano nga hard work sang Carabao, he is still a Carabao. And he cannot do anything about it because that is the situation, that is the environment, or that is the very place nga ginbutang siya. Okay? Of course, we can use allusion, intertextuality, syntax, meaning, okay, the arrangement of words in the poem, the arrangement of words in the story, form, form is the meaning or the content. Okay, what is the meaning of that line? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this paragraph? So we do that in slow reading. We pay attention to this following. What is the meaning of the what is the meaning of the um one gloomy afternoon in the story? What is the meaning of that? So dira atong gina-analyze. We can also use and consider the grammar construction vis-a-vis with punctuation, allusion, metaphor, and etc. to arrive at an interpretation. We can say there, sir, nagambal na siya, sir, nga, ang author nga, there is a blue sky, a wide blue sky because like this and like that, because this is the reason. So that is an interpretation. And that is connected at some point, that is connected at an interpretation because of a certain analysis na ginawa ng bata. Because that is again, part of part of teaching the literature is training our students to to think critically and read critically the different literary pieces. She made also mention that we have to sharpen the metaphoric consciousness of our students. That means hindi lang sila magbasa, but make sure that we have to analyze that our that their reading, that their analysis or their reading of the different poems of the different story would lead to analysis or would lead to at some point interpretation for them to have realizations. Na sa ulihi, they will realize something, they will have something na maano nila, madala because as made mention, we wanted to have transformation. We wanted to have transformation in our class. That's why we try to at some point deliver and find ways or strategies that we can make and let our learners or students realize something from the literature that we are telling them to read or we are sharing them to read, that is utilizing the metaphoric consciousness or elements in literature. We can also discuss the following themes such as climate change, identity like class. Class means rich, poor, something like that. Ethnicity, gender, being male, being female. Diaspora, globalization. Diaspora, the transfer of people or immigration. Globalization, well, exchange of goods, internationalization. We connect with other countries. Other countries connect to us. Current issues like extrajudicial killings, war, conflicts, social media, and technology. So these are the themes and issues that we can discuss. Meaning we can connect this with literature. Like right now, Gabagyo-Bagyo, so we can connect it with global warming or global or climate change, among others. She also mentioned that our poetics in the Philippines is actually poetics of pain. This means that we have been pained, or our stories or our poetry has been triggered by the brutality or by the experiences that are not good at some point. She also encourages students to reflect more on relation to their own self. As I made mention, magtudlo kita literature always. We think of a strategy nga mapagwa tagid aton mga students based sa ila kaugalingon. Ano ila na experience during this time? What did they experience? And from that experience, what can they do? Okay? So tingwaan tagid, magtudlo ta sa literature that our teaching will actually focus on how how actually the students think, how actually the students reflect the literature or the moral of the story based on their personals or based on their own selves. You can also have the following strategy. Of course, they can reenact a particular line or a particular verse. They can have mime or dance. They can create snapshot or pictures, create a tableau, transform a poem into a story and enact form a skit, among others. Translate and recite. So these are the different mga strategies that we can utilize in our teaching in the 21st century literature in the Philippines. We also have different theories in literature, theories of teaching and literature. We have post-structuralist theories such as feminism, Marxism, new historicism, and post-colonialism. And usually they are reader-centered approach, meaning we are um, depending the analysis and interpretation to the reader. When they read that, their analysis and interpretation depends on the one who reads, and those are our students. In this way, our students can actually think critically and become creative explorers. So in the 21st education, this is the age of globalization and multiculturalism. As we made mention, we have an ever-changing environment. So may mga technology na kita, may mga other culture nga na nagasulod sa aton environment, among others sa aton nga world. So we have globalization. Also, in this era, education is considered as an important mechanism in order for us to foster and develop creative and an effective human resource. Meaning, we try to develop our learners to become effective individual. Pagka-graduate nila sa aton eskwelahan, they will become someone who will be agents of change, someone who is responsible, someone who is a good citizen. So how do we do that? In our literature, itudlo naton kung paano sila mangin agent of change. In our literature, in our teaching of literature, pakita naton paano sila mangin better citizens in the country. Also, in the 21st century education, it supports that research supports developing higher order thinking skills. So paano tayo mapagwa? Questions. We ask questions that are higher order thinking skills. We also have traditional approaches to teaching literature. Sometimes we can have divide these approaches into three: cultural, linguistic, and personal growth model. So these models usually are approaches in teaching literature, wherein students are trained to shut out from the world at their classroom, going through their own minds. In the context of post-structuralist literary theory, we have feminist, Marxist, and critical reading. In the feminist approach, we are trying to take a look into here the gender, okay, the male and the female in the context of our analysis of our discussion, wherein we can analyze ang level of oppression, or not really oppression but level of inequality, say mga babae gina-oppress sila sa story. So that falls under the post-structuralist literary theory under feminist theory. Enables readers to actively engage with the text to unearth the ideological and political configurations of textual representation in order to understand the cultural processes in which gender roles are constructed. So in literature, pwede ta na siyang pagwa nga lalaki lang ang gaobra, or nga ang babae dapat sa balay lang. So we can have that as part of our discussion. Nga ang babae amo lang niya ubra, nga ang lalaki amo naman ni, nga ang mga lalaki hindi pwede mag-amo ni, ang mga babae pwede mag-amo sila. So these varying reasons can fall under Marxist theory. Feminist theory. In Marxist literary theory, this talks about class. Being poor, being rich. That rich people oppress poor people, and poor people are actually always are victim of the rich people when they have oppression. So pwede mo man siyang pagwa in your questioning. So nga amo na natabo sa story nga hindi gusto magpakasal ang bata ni Amone sa prince ni Amone, something like that, the king and queen, something like that. Nga ang bata sa king hindi gusto ang queen, ipakasal siya sa bata lang sa isa ka ordinaryo nga farmer, say an example in the story. So we can discuss that under the Marxist literary theory. There are also similar from the post-colonial theory, we have critical reading strategies such as colonial discourse, Orientalism, contrapuntal reading encourage the students to read canonical texts from different lens, which calls into question the universality of text, highlighting the text complicity and the ideology of imperialism. So these are other strategies of what we call um, post-structuralist literary theory na pwede natin magamit when we teach literature. More methods we can have here contextual learning. Contextual learning is you connect the literary or the literature to the learner's context, environment. Say for example, the story has something to do with the ocean. Pamangkuton mo sila kung nakakadto na sila sa baybay. Pamangkuton mo sila kung nakaadto na sila pangisda. So that is called contextual learning. Here, we are trying to put the context of the literature, problem, situation, personal, social, culture, or other contexts sa kung anong nabalance ang learner. So we call that contextual learning. It is always associated with prior knowledge. Kasi kung anong nabalaan nila beforehand, amo na dira kita nagasugod so that we can start and we can jump off the discussion way better. The emphasizing point of contextual learning takes a look into that literature can either be aims, problem-solving learning, or learning. Learning also tries to take a look into to express about human beings, humanity in the universe, as intellectual or emotional consumption. It emphasizes the point of the literature instead of memorizing terms, definition, and history. What we try to take a look into here is to make an intimate relationship. Imbes na magulo lang sila, we try to make intimate relationship with the learner and the context of the story. So this is where we end our discussion on the teaching of literature in the Philippine context.